Good morning. I think most of you know that when you're watching this that it's a taped thing and that we release it on mornings during the week. So I'm actually recording on Friday, August 27th. Yesterday was the terror attack at the airport in Kabul, Afghanistan. And yesterday morning, I think before I knew the full extent of the attack, before any of us really did, I read a devotional. It was actually one day ahead, which I'm never ahead, but I was one day ahead. I read it from Philip Yancey, and he talks about the book Praying with the KGB, and he said that after he met with people in the Soviet Union, well, it was Russia, shortly after the fall of the Soviet Union, he said that the colonel that they dealt with there proceeded to distribute 2 million copies of the New Testament to Russian army troops. And what really struck Philip Yancey, and I think I remember reading this close to that time frame, was he said, I never prayed for people in leadership in Russia during the Cold War. You remember the Cold War. Most of you that are watching this, you are old enough to remember the Cold War. Those are our enemies. Boris Badenov. Remember Natasha and Boris? Yeah, that was our propaganda to tell us that Russians were bad, in case we didn't pick it up some other way. But I really like that honesty, that transparency on his part. He's like, I didn't think to pray. Today we live in such a polarized world, whether it's the United States and Afghanistan right now, the Taliban, or whether it's Republican and Democrat here in this country, and I could start naming names. And the fact of the matter is, probably quite a few of us have some people that it might be good for us to pray for. I do remember that after 9/11, that there was some Christian organization that got together little dossiers on known terrorists in the world for prayer. And I remember I had one. I don't remember the person's name anymore, and we'll never necessarily see the outcome of those prayers, but they do matter. And I love what Yancey goes on to say here about C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis wrote a letter to his brother. I don't know how came across the letter, but he said that he prayed every night for the people he was most tempted to hate. If we're honest, there are some people that we really don't like. I could throw some names out there, and if we hooked up some kind of monitor to you, there would be a response, maybe even a visceral response to certain names. I'm not going to mention any names, you can imagine them. Who was at the top of C.S. Lewis's prayer list? Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Mussolini. And do you know what he said? That when he thought about them, and he thought about his own nature, he realized that given the right circumstances or the wrong circumstances, the cruelty that he knew within his own soul could have caused him to do things perhaps that were as barbaric as what they did. So instead of pointing the finger, he realized that he wasn't so different from these ghastly creatures. Like I said, almost all of us, if we're honest, we have an enemies list. Don't you think it would do all of our souls some good to pray for the Taliban today? Don't you think it would do our souls some good to pray for ISIS-K? Don't you think it would do our souls some good to pray for Al-Qaeda? To pray for the people of Afghanistan, certainly not our enemies. But in this country as well, there are people. I don't need to fill in the blanks. There's somebody in our state that's been upsetting me lately. I need to pray for that person. I just encourage you to do the same thing. That's what Jesus said. Love our enemies and to pray for them. It's a challenging word, but a very timely one. God bless you. Have a great day.